Hello, I'm Sophia.
And hey, I'm Kristin, and we are
Under the Barbell.
Over the Bullshit.
And we're a podcast for women who are sick of being told to just eat less, move more, and what they really want is to get strong, take up space, feel confident, and age well.
That's what we're all about, empowering women to live for more than a before and after photo.
So, wherever you are, grab a coffee or a pre-workout and hit play, because your anti-diet culture BFFs have arrived.
Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back, you bobbers.
You bobbers. How's it going?
Good. It's going good. It's hot as, happy summer, because finally we live in the Midwest and it's been windy as shit. Earlier this week, it's been super windy. My door almost flew off its hinges. It kind of,
oh my
now
God.
you have to slam it shut and it's hard to open. I don't know what happened there, but today and not yesterday, there was one other day this week that it's been just beautiful, nice and warm. It's getting hotter. It's not as windy. So I'm just loving the nice weather. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
What's so hot there? What is your idea of hot? What is it?
Okay, well, I would say hot is 80 to 90 degrees or more, but when it's even been 70-ish, and that feels super warm just because it's been after wintertime, I feel like it's just cooler. But yeah, 70s is perfect. It's not too hot. But I wonder what it is. You know what? I'm going to see what it is right now, because to me, it's hot right now. And maybe because my office is hot, but it was pretty hot outside.
Yeah.
Shorts and a tank top. And it's been warm. So let's see. Today's high. 85. The high is 86.
There you have it.
So I'm
okay, so it is hot.
Oh, that's funny.
That's my ideal.
Yep.
I love that. When it's in the 80s, upper 80s. In fact, it was a few days ago. I think it was on Saturday. I pulled up the weather, the 10-day forecast, I just wanted to see what it was going to be that day. And I looked at it, and I looked down, and I saw the bottom of the 10-day forecast had 90s in it. And I looked at my husband, and I was like, "Oh, we're getting into the 90s." And he was like, "Finally!" We're just that's just us, man. We love it hot. Everybody else around us is "Shut up, I hate you." But but we love it. I like it a lot. Yep, same.
Especially when I'm by a body of water. Yes, get me.
Yes.
I want a tan. I want to.
Hell yeah.
I will burn. It's fine because it'll turn to a tan. But Kiana doesn't like it as much because she burns easily, so she hates the heat. So it's
all the sunscreen.
Yeah. So, what's new in your world?
I know it's been a minute. We have not talked in a while. We I can't remember. We both just had you had car stuff going on last week. And
that's right. That's what it was. Yep.
So let's see. All the things that have happened since I last saw Sophia. No. Well, we had our anniversary was just last week.
You and Sam.
Yes. Yeah, mine and my husband. And 21 years.
21 years.
Our marriage can finally drink because it needs it. No, I'm kidding.
What do you mean?
I drink it's 21 years old, so it can drink.
Oh. I get it. I didn't get it at first. I get it now.
But yeah, we always back in the day, we would always talk about our marriage in terms of human landmarks,
funny.
So we're
yes.
Oh, well, our marriage is a kindergartner, or all that. And
I
so
love
we're
that.
Now our marriage can drink, and we're well, that's it. I don't know if there's really anything else what other landmarks are there after. And one of my clients asked me when we were talking about it, and I never thought about it this way. She was like, "So how many years have you been married versus how many years were you not married?"
Oh,
and
yeah.
So it's I think we figured, I think it's next year maybe will be half my life I've been with him. But that's married, but we were dating for a couple of years before we got married. So I think that more than half my life we've been together now.
Oh,
which is
damn.
crazy
That's crazy
to think about it that way. Yeah, that's wild. I don't know how the hell anybody has put up with me for as long as he has. Bless his heart.
What about golden? How they do golden birthdays? When you
yeah.
What would be the golden anniversary?
I mean, our anniversary was the 7th. So isn't it when it's the year matches the?
Yeah, the Yep.
the
I would say,
date.
like, what year did you
So
guys get married?
we
Oh,
got
that's
married
nice.
in May 7th, 05. So like yeah, like they said, golden birthday. Like my birthday's on the 29th, so my 29th birthday was like my.
Oh, okay.
So I
Yeah.
think that was long. That's long
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
That's done. But it's fun. We haven't done anything to celebrate yet. Because last weekend also was Mother's Day, and so
Oh,
we were gonna
yeah.
go out like on Saturday night. We were gonna go downtown, go out to dinner, and maybe have some drinks or whatever. But I was like, for Mother's Day, I always like getting up early and going and getting a good breakfast, like somewhere that has gluten-free pancakes specifically, so I
Oh,
can. So I hardly
nice.
ever get to eat pancakes. So that's what we always do. And I was like, I don't want to be out Saturday night and then I have to get up early to go to breakfast because we always try to get
Yeah.
there before. Like I live in the South, and so it's when I say everybody, I mean most people go to church on Sundays. We don't. And so we try to do things oftentimes while they're at church, and you
Beat the
don't have a
church
wait.
crowd.
But if you wait too long, there's gonna be an hour-long wait for any
Yeah.
restaurants, and so like you have to get up early enough to get there before the church people get there. So
Yep.
I was like, yeah, I don't want to be out Saturday night and then have to get up that early for breakfast. So we were like, that's okay. We'll just move our anniversary to next weekend, which would be this weekend that we're in right now. But my son has his school's graduation is tonight, and most of his friends are seniors this year. So it's like a bunch of his friends that are graduating. And a lot of them are having graduation parties and things like that this weekend, and that we're going to have to be, giving him rides to and all that. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're not going to go out this weekend either. One of these weekends we'll get to celebrate our anniversary
Yeah.
eventually. So
Did you give them the photos?
I did. So they just came. Okay, so I met with her and we had to like sort through them. She had a
Yes.
bajillion of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I was really sad, honestly, for some of them that I had to be like, no, but I really like it. But like, because I could
Oh,
only
yeah.
pick 25 was like the package that I bought. I could only pick 25. And so she gave me and so I got all 25 of those digital. And then also she like puts them in an album that gets printed and whatnot. And so, yeah, I mean, she had, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many there were, but there had to be at least like 150. I don't know.
That would be so hard to
And
choose.
it was so hard, so hard. There was a few where I was just like, no, I don't think so. But then there's like everything else was so tough. So what it came down to, we just started looking at ones that were like similar poses in the same outfit. And then like picking like, okay, just in this specific, like if I'm laying down, then which of the laying down ones do I like the best? And I can get rid of the, you know what I mean? Like that's how I ended up having to do it because otherwise it was
That's a
so
good
hard to
idea.
choose. And the album just came like literally, it might have been maybe it was sometime this week. Yeah, 2 days ago, maybe it just finally came in. So it didn't come in time for our anniversary, but it came in a few days later. And he already knew,
Nice.
and he saw the digitals and stuff because I got the digitals right away, and they're in like an app too. So
Oh,
like
nice.
so he has like the apps on his phone. So he'd already seen them all, so it wasn't like
Okay.
too big of a deal. But yeah, so that was
Did you like
it. It
'em?
was fun. Yeah, he did. He did. He
Nice.
actually he came home right towards the end of me picking the pictures. And like I had to hurry and shut the door. It's like the last thing I need is my kid to walk in while I have all these pictures, like boudoir photo. We actually didn't say it. And anybody who's just tuning in is like, what the hell are you talking about? I did a boudoir session. And so there were pictures that you don't want your teenage son to walk in and see. And so, yeah, so I texted my husband though. I was like, I'm picking out the rest of these pictures. Do you want to come see them or come look? And all he wrote was yes. And then he just like she comes busted in the door. And so so yeah, he was just it was funny. Like he's standing next to me. And I was on my treadmill. And so like she could see me, but he was next to me because he was like, outside the treadmill. And so she couldn't see him. And I would just like look over at him and he would just be like, his eyes were like this big. And he's
that's
like,
awesome.
oh, how do we pick? I'm like, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, like
which
what do you
ones
like?
do you like? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so so that was good.
nice.
I keep thinking about like ways there's some of them that aren't super like, I mean, there's still all of them are like sexy, but there's some of them that aren't like showing a lot that like I want to use for something. Like I don't know if it's content on Instagram. Yeah, I don't know what.
I've done that
but
before.
I can't quite figure out what's the angle. Like what do I want
You know
to
what I would
do with it?
So well, this is what I've done and what I could see you doing too, just because we talk about it. But the angle that I've done is talking about like just the journey I've had with my body, or like body neutrality, positivity, love, respect, like just talking about my
Mm,
viewpoint on that really.
yeah.
And the first time I did it, actually, it stemmed from me being heated as fuck, because one of my clients would do, the one who got me into doing boudoir photos, someone in her family was like trying to put her down for it and was saying
Mm.
certain things, and I was like, hell no. First of all, women will go out in a bathing suit with less clothes than like a lingerie photo
Right.
sometimes. Like, I know it's lingerie
Right.
versus a bathing suit, but it
But
doesn't matter. It's not my
still.
problem the way that you're looking at it. And
That's right.
people, like, for women, when we feel that confidence, like, it's fine with men when they walk with no shirt and they're like, so it's just, anyways,
Yeah.
I just got heated. And
Yep.
so I had a whole post that I talked about it that way. So that's where that came from. But I
Yep.
have talked about like body, just different things, and like body positivity, neutrality, all of that. So that could be an angle.
That's a good angle too. That's a
You
good
know what? You've
idea.
never posted about your journey with your body, what you think of it, how you think of it
You're
now,
right.
any struggles you've had, like, and what this boudoir session has done for you, even though it was
Hmm.
for him. Like, how did it impact you? You know?
Yeah. Right. Right.
Anyways,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
getting
That's a
heated
good
again.
idea. Yeah. I, you and I talked about this a little bit off, not while we were recording, back when we first talked about this, but like one of the things that I guess, I don't know, like gets me heated. I don't know. But like, when people, men in particular, but women too, like, let's be real, women also do it, is like when they say things, if I were to post one of those, like maybe I'm just fucking proud of it and I want to post it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you're a pick me girl, or you just want attention, or you're being a whore, or whatever. It's like, you know what? Every single time a woman steps foot in public, there are men that are objectifying
Yeah.
her, and it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter what she's wearing.
Yeah.
And so why is it that when I want to own that sexuality and put it out on
Yeah.
my terms, that
Hashtag
now
goosebumps.
see, right? I think maybe that's
Yes.
the angle. Like
Yeah.
now I'm wanting attention, and now I'm a whore, and now I'm a slut. But you had no problem objectifying me at the grocery store when I
Yeah.
was just wearing a t-shirt and jeans. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
We
See,
want to
that's
be,
where I
yes,
started getting
own that.
riled up.
Okay, well, then that's what you need to talk
That's
about
it. I
and
think
share.
that's the
Yes.
topic. Yeah.
For real. Put your own like feminism spin on it, and
Yeah.
what gets you heated like that.
Yeah.
That's what we
That's
want to see.
it. That's the one.
Mhm.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
Thanks.
Ding, ding, ding.
Social media
Yes.
therapy with Sophia.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that's pretty much it going on with me. How about you?
Well, so I went to Red Rocks, the concert.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
I talked about the last time, and oh my god, it was a fucking blast. I loved it. I've been to Red Rocks, but just to like walk around, wasn't for a concert, and it was even more ginormous than what I realized.
Yeah.
And it just was fucking awesome. Like, my style of music that I love is EDM, mashup, remix, and the bands that I went to, they're not even band. They're DJs, but they're called Two Friends. And if you just YouTube or Spotify Big Booty Mix, like, listen to those. It's just an hour and a half long of remix mashup songs, and it's EDM style. It's just fun. And yeah, so that's who I went to. And then there was a couple openers, and Lindsey Sterling. Do you know who Lindsey Sterling is?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, you know Lindsey? Oh,
So,
fuck.
I'm old,
Dude.
remember?
No, but she's not like,
I don't know things.
she's not, no. She's a violinist, but she does you should just look her up. She's so good. But she'll like
Okay.
very performative with her violin, and it's just
okay.
so good. But I saw her in concert one time years ago, and it was the best concert I've ever been to. And I saw her perform with the DJs that I went to see. I saw her perform at other of their shows on social media, but I was like, there's no way she's gonna be at Red Rocks. Like, I just figured it was like wherever she lived, and that she just happened to be there. No, she shows up towards the end during a song that they created together, and I was freaking the fuck out. My friend like didn't know who she was, but I was like, "Oh my god, how do you not know who this is? Like, she's amazing." So anyway, she was there, and then a couple other DJs opened for them, and oh my god, just time of my life. And I've never been to a show like that before. I want to go to a festival or more EDM style concerts, but that was my first one. 20 out of 10 recommend. So good. And the weather was amazing.
Oh,
good.
that's
It was good.
good. That's good.
And then the other thing, so that I was going to talk about, I was gifted a Factor. Have you heard of Factor 75?
Is it Oh, no, huh?
It's like a meal prep company. I'm sure now you'll get ads
Well, I
for
know
it, but
I know Factor Meals. I didn't
okay.
know
Oh,
they
yes.
shakes.
So I have some meals from them, but they have protein shakes, they have smoothies, they have other just
Oh,
like random stuff now. But
okay.
I was gifted some of their stuff, and just yeah, it's pretty good. If you're sometimes with my clients, I throw it in. I'm like, if you're on the go all the time and you
Mhm.
struggle, like every now and then do a meal prep service.
Oh, for sure.
Doesn't have to be for
Several
every
of my
meal.
clients do. Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
lot of clients because there's some local companies here that will just deliver it right to your house. And so I have a handful of clients who like will get all their lunches, like just the one
Yeah.
meal. But it's like if I can just like as breakfast is solid, if I can just have my lunches brought to me, then all I have to focus on is dinner, then
Yeah.
great. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And like, you gotta keep in mind, it replaces the groceries. Like, yes, it's an
Yeah.
investment, but it replaces the groceries that you're gonna be getting, and
And
you
your
don't have to do it for
time.
forever. And your time, yes, like, taking back your time, mhm.
Yeah. I
So,
have
yeah.
I have one who she did it already had it like pre-planned in advance the weeks and all that when she had her baby. So she was getting
Mhm.
so that she that way she was sure she was eating well because she was trying to breastfeed and she was trying to keep her nutrition up and all that. But you're also tired and exhausted and you just had a kid and all of that. And
Yeah.
so she was doing it through it. So like a lot of people will do it like just in those times when life is just crazy. Like maybe you have like a big
Mhm.
work project or something coming and you can't put that kind
Mhm.
of energy into nutrition. This is a perfect, opportunity.
Yep.
Factor, we will accept any kind of sponsorships you'd like to provide us for talking about this right
Yeah.
now. um,
If
but
you would
yeah,
like.
no, I meal prep companies I think are underutilized for
Yeah,
how
for
awesome
sure.
they are. I mean, like you said, it is an investment and like that's a thing, but
But
it's
have
worth
them
it.
ready to go. Yeah,
Hmm.
and there's one locally in Sioux Falls. If you're listening and you're in Sioux Falls and you don't know, it's called Power Plate Meals. You can walk in and grab meals, but I know they have a website. You can just order it online too, and also I think considering any local grocery stores that have pre-made meals. Like, I mean, yes, there's
Hmm.
Hy-Vee and Walmart, but we have, it's called Pomegranate Market, and then the Sioux Falls Co-op, and what's it called? One other, Natural Grocers. So sometimes those places have pre-made
Hmm.
meals where they like make it and it's healthier because they're
Yeah.
health-minded anyways. So then you could also check that
Yeah,
out.
makes it a lot easier. Yeah, we have here in Nashville, we have Music City Fit Meals is the one that most of my clients use. And then there's another one. I think it might be national or maybe it's just regional, but I think it's in more than Nashville. It's called Clean Eats.
Yes,
So
I've seen that
yeah,
brand.
so
Uh-huh.
they're like local, like they make them locally,
Oh.
and you can go pick them up in their store or they'll deliver them around locally. But I believe it's a chain though, so I think other people in other
Oh.
parts might have that too. So I know
I've
some
definitely
people
seen
use that
that.
one as well. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
do have some people that use Factor.
Yes.
So
Nice. Nice.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was your sleep routine?
Oh
We've been
yeah, our
talking about
sleep.
this.
We didn't mention it last episode, I don't think. So I was actually doing really, really good for a little bit. And I think sent you a screenshot of my watch
Mhm.
because I sleep with my watch because I love like all that data. And I always track my HRV. And HRV, if y'all don't know, is it's basically like the time between heartbeats, essentially. And it's an indicator of how your nervous system is, like if you're more like relaxed, if you're more stressed. And stress can mean a lot of things. Like stress can mean you're getting sick or you're fighting off something, or stress can be like literal work stress or something. Stress can be like alcohol. Like that was something that I learned about my body so much when I used to have one of those Whoop bands or Whoop
Oh,
straps, I
yeah.
forget what they call them. I don't anymore just because I'm too cheap to pay for the subscription, but it was great for learning so much about my body. Like I could really tell like when I was eating well, like good nutrient dense food, and when I was recovering well, like, HRV would go through the roof. And then I would go out and have a margarita or two. And that next day, even if I felt okay, HRV would just tank completely. And
Yeah.
so like you can really see what things really, really impact you like internally, And so alcohol, of course, is one of them. But even, if I'm in a stressful period, like, because I was a teacher at the time. So like end of the school year would come and my HRV would just bottom out because end of the school year is so stressful, just stuff like that. And you can tell they were actually using it during COVID because they were able to tell a few days sooner than the early COVID tests would test positive, the HRV would drop. And so they had like big indicators of people had COVID before the COVID test even knew that they had COVID. So that was it's all really interesting. But
Yeah.
anyway, HRV is what I pay attention to. And it's always like mine is never really very high, just as a general rule anyway. And a lot of it is like, I think there's some that's like, like ideal or whatever, but a lot of it is very specific to the person. Everybody's a little bit different. Mine, like it was just super steady, like not great. And then I started to pay more attention, like we talked about, like trying to get myself to bed, not be on my phone as much at night, like while I'm in bed, but trying to get to bed a little bit earlier because like my nights were just getting later and later and later and all that stuff. And it showed so freaking like my HRV, like whoop, it went up so like every single day. It was like little more, little more, little more, little more. And so it definitely paid off. But then I just got really, really busy. I have a lot of stuff. I'm in this like marketing intensive and I'm doing all this stuff, making a sales page and all that, and like completely like revamping and redoing my whole online everything. The program itself is staying mostly the same. Definitely made some changes though. But like just kind of how the sales page looks, how I'm talking about it, how I'm marketing it, all of that stuff is completely changing. And
Mhm.
I've been working like a crazy, but like I legit, there was one day I didn't go to bed till around 4 a.m.
Holy
And
shit, dude.
yeah. And my husband and my son get up or in the 5 o'clock hour. And I was like, sorry guys, good night. But it's like, I have a little bit of that flexibility to where like I can sleep in a little bit because
Yeah.
if I don't have to get up, like if it's a day I don't have to get up and go see clients in the morning or have a meeting or something, then I can. I don't prefer that, but that's also the time where like I can just knock shit out because they're in bed.
Mm,
And
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I can just really get stuff done. And I think it's like an ADHD hyper focus thing too, where like once I get
Yeah.
like I have to finish it. I can't not do like I
Mhm.
have to finish this before I go to bed. So anyway, most days it was more like 2, sometimes 3, but I did have that one day that was 4. And in fairness too, I just remember that one day that was 4, we also had storms, like really bad thunderstorms and stuff, and there were threats of tornadoes and things. So I was
Oh,
just up
geez.
watching the news and had like, the weather people because they were like breaking into whatever the hell programming people watch at 3 a.m. I don't know, but the local news people were breaking. So I just like had them on. So I was watching that while I was doing stuff. So I considered it my like duty, my service to my family. You guys go ahead and sleep because you actually have to get up at a certain time. I don't, so I can sleep in, but I'll make sure
Yeah.
that the tornado doesn't come and get us. And but
Funny.
yeah, so it has not been great since that because that's been now for over a month, I think, actually. I think beginning of April is when we started, so about a month and a half. And at the beginning of that, it was okay because we weren't really doing as much. We were just kind of
Yeah.
getting into what we were doing. And then once we got in the thick of it, it was like, "Meh," I went out the window. So I guess the lesson, the moral, whatever, is that I see the benefits. I know if I were to just take care of these things. And I didn't do much. All I did was try to get myself to bed like more like midnight instead of 2 or 3 in the morning. I was not on my phone. I like when I went to bed, I would set the alarm. And even if I was on for a few minutes, I would put it down and I would go to bed, like go to
Yeah.
sleep, because I'm in bed. And I tried to get better about a more consistent wake time. Really, that's all I did. And just those couple of simple things made a huge difference.
Mhm.
I just got
Nice.
to get back to it.
So you just gotta get back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. I'll get there. It might be a little bit before I get there, but I'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
So since talking, so this is the first week really that has gone really, really well. Before this, I was still struggling, but I was at least watching shows less. Like I was maybe watching just one and then going to bed, but I still was scrolling on my phone and I was
Mm,
just been trying not to do that. So like small steps, like it was kind of going well, but what really did it, because I love taking baths. Like we've already talked about this in other episodes,
yeah.
like the bath thing, but I have not had bath salts or bath like soap to like for the bubbles. So I mean, yeah, I could just take a bath with just the water,
It's
but
not the
like
same.
no. And so finally I got bath soap and bubbles, and it's the melatonin one,
Yeah.
by Dr. Teal or whatever.
Yeah.
And so once I got that, it was like that's what like I needed that to start. And so when I eat dinner, since Kiana's not here, she's working travel working right now. My goal was to just eat at the table, enjoy it, maybe listen to music or a podcast, not watch a show, and then maybe clean up a little bit, and then take a bath, and then either journal or read, and then go to bed. And I'm very happy to say that this week, every single night, I have
Good for
eaten at the
you.
table. Yep. And also what helps, actually, to be honest, because I would much rather work on my computer than watch a show. But I've been working a little bit later, just getting a few things done here and there. So that has happened. And I know it's not as good for my eyes for screen time, but I will eat and enjoy it. I've been listening to a podcast, and then the bath with candles and having the bubbles and the salts to put in it made all of the difference, because that's the start of the routine. And I also was gifted Athletic Greens, which is a company that they do. Yeah, there's like, I don't know, I've kind of gone back and forth on that, but they do have a sleep one now that I've never had.
Oh.
It's new and it tastes so good. And I've had that while I take my bath. It's kind of like a wind down.
Yeah.
And it knocks me out. There's no melatonin in
Really?
it. There's like
What's in it?
ashwagandha, L-theanine, magnesium. I can't remember a few other different like herbs and things.
Yeah.
And normally, even if I take a magnesium capsule, or Calm is like a magnesium tea powder that I every now and then take. Even when I take those, I sleep well, but I usually wake up at least once in the middle of the night. With this, I sleep through the entire night, don't wake up, and I wake up on my own, and which I usually do anyways when the light comes up, the sun comes up. But I wake up, I feel like awake and refreshed, and it's just crazy. So so that has really, just having that routine has helped a lot. And I'm every night this week, which this weekend probably won't be like that, but I'm just gonna get right back into it. So so this week is like the start. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And
And you're
it's
you're
gonna
feeling it, like when you wake up, are you
Yeah.
feeling like, okay, I'm good?
Yes, and I can get up. The only thing is I can tell, because I will still go on my phone and scroll a little bit. That's like now the piece that I'm trying to work on is,
Yeah.
even though I have been journaling, like I've been trying to journal and read, or just go to bed right after my bath, I still am in the habit of going on social media and scrolling. So I need to just not go on social media at all. So that's going to be my next step to tackle.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I feel like it's
That's
been
great.
going better. It's been going better.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's good progress. I like to
So,
hear it.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well.
Pause. My computer's plugged in, but oh no, it's not. I forgot to plug it in. I was like, I thought I plugged it in, but I guess I did not.
Oh.
There we go. All right, quote and shirt.
Oh yeah, quoted shirt. All right, so this is the one I talked about in the last episode, where I was like, I don't know if I should wear this one, like it might go too far, and you were like, just wear it. So
just do
I'm
it.
like, okay, yeah. I wore it. And it says, if I wanted the government in my uterus, I would fuck a senator.
I love it.
So,
That's good.
And this was like when Roe v. Wade was overturned a few years ago. We went downtown to protest, and this is what was on my sign. This is what I wrote on my sign that I went for the protest. And so I got the shirt made after, because I was like, I kind of loved that. I need to make the shirt. So I got the shirt made after. And yeah, because my son, the little, his whole life, he's been this little political being. I don't know what you want to call him. Like, since in fact, I found pictures just like a week or two ago of him protesting with teachers. Like he must have been in maybe second or third grade. And it was for like to fund schools and all that, because there's all kinds of drama with that. And it's him, and he's holding a poster board, which is made to look like a picture frame, and it says "Go Fund Me" real big, and it's like him like in it. And I was like, oh my god! Like ever since he was like single digit years old, he's been like this little political advocate. Like he loves this shit.
That's awesome.
Loves it. But he came with us to the Roe v. Wade march and protest and all that. And some of my husband's family was less than impressed with my sign with my kid with me. I'm like, care.
Did they say anything?
Well, one of them like unfollowed and blocked me and stuff on social. I don't know. Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
get into that, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm not their favorite person. We'll just say that. I never have been, and that's totally been fine with me.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck them. Whatever.
but yeah, pretty much. So that's where it's my shirt.
Love it. So I have 2 quotes. I have one for like the normal quote, but then I have another one that will lead pretty well, I think, right into the topic for today.
Okay, perfect.
Consistency looks a lot like nothing is working until everything changes. Yeah,
Oh,
consistency. And I actually added
yeah,
something. So I like saying consistency looks a lot like nothing is working until one day everything changes. Like literally,
yep. That's
one day
it.
you'll be like, holy shit, like
Yeah,
whether it's
yeah,
physical change or even just like anything in life that you're working on, that you're struggling
yeah.
with, that you're trying to be consistent with, it literally feels and looks like nothing is happening
Mm-hmm.
until one day everything changes.
It reminds me of I don't know if it was your last quote or maybe the one before where it talked about like the boring stuff. It's
Yes.
like
What was that?
doing the boring stuff is where it's at. Like everybody wants there to be some big glamorous sexy answer, but it's not. It's the boring
Yes.
consistency
Once you get
that
there, you've made it.
ultimately makes
Mhm.
all the change. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So, and then the other quote, so I'll say this and then you can introduce the topic for today, but
All right.
muscle is not just something you see, it's something you experience.
Ooh, I never heard that. That is a good one. That that'll perfectly right into today's episode, as if you bobbers didn't already know what this episode was about because they literally clicked on it to listen to us.
The
But
topic, yeah,
it's
for the title.
the title, yeah. So we're going to talk about muscle today, and we're going to talk about the benefits of muscle and like what does muscle like provide for us and give us beyond just what we look like. So we're going to talk about some of the internal shit, whether it's, in the brain or, other ways our body works, but the
And
maybe
maybe even
lesser
like,
known stuff.
yes, like the unconventional, like I have one for sure that's more of like an unconventional one. And if you're new to strength training, lifting weights, exercise, just fitness in general,
Mhm.
this will also be a good one for you because I think what I have learned in my journey as a coach and a trainer is that things that seem so common sense and like we think everyone knows this shit
Mhm.
is that there's always people out there that they don't know. And so repeating these things or talking
Yeah.
about these things that we think you listening, no, we don't know that you know.
Right.
So reiterating it and talking about these things is that's what I reminded myself of today before
Yeah,
coming
that's
on.
honestly a really good reminder, I think, for all of us. And I think it happens to anybody in their profession and what they like. We live this every single day. So sometimes the stuff that seems common knowledge to us, we forget that it's not to somebody who doesn't live this every day like we do, Like
Exactly.
I made a post once, I can't remember what it was about, but some, of course, it was a man, of course, it's always a man, came on and he was like, this is stupid. As if, is there anybody that doesn't already know this? I'm like, yeah, actually, like
Literally.
women I talk to all the time who, maybe
Yeah.
are looking to hire a coach. Yeah. Like it was something with protein. It was like maybe like sources of protein. I can't remember what it was. But I was like, yeah, like I definitely didn't know this stuff until I took the time to read and learn about it. I didn't
Yeah.
know. Well, how would I
Yeah.
know if I didn't? So yeah, that's a good reminder though, because sometimes we get caught up in the kind of the wanting to give like the big, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like some new fancy
Yeah.
exciting thing when it's like, no, like there's legitimately people out there we could be helping with the absolute simple basics. And so
Yes.
it's important to remember.
Exactly. 100%. Yep.
All right. Well, do you have anything exciting that you just really want to talk about with muscle that you want to start?
Yeah, maybe I'll just go right off the
We could
bat
just,
with this one
yeah,
that
just go with it and we'll just roll.
okay. So this is one that it was very new to me just last year, 1 to 2 years ago, I would say. That I had a coach who she talked a lot about it and I was always like, what the fuck does this mean? And for some reason just recently because of my hair. That's why. This is why
Oh.
this clicked for me and I was like, "Oh, this makes so much sense." But identity expansion. Muscle will eventually
Oh.
give you identity expansion.
Yes.
What the fuck do I mean by that? Well, a lot of times we identify, and I talked about this a little bit in the last episode, just with my hair change, or maybe it was 2 episodes ago, I don't know. But asking yourself what you identify with, meaning a lot of times people will say, well, I just don't have the motivation to work out, or I just don't have the time, or I'm not, strong enough to lift that, or I can't do XYZ. You are identifying with that. So you're
Yep.
continuously looking for that. And that's what's true. That's what's going to happen because what is
Yeah.
what's true for you.
Yeah.
But switching that, and so eventually when we start to lift weights or we start to add on muscle, getting stronger, that becomes the goal. You start to realize like, oh, I can do hard things. I can lift this weight and I didn't think I could. One of my clients, she literally told me she thought she was broken. She thought she was never going to be able
Yep.
to ride a bike again. She was like, is this just the way that it is? And now that we've been starting to lift weights, she's no longer in pain or has discomfort. Her whole identity is shifting. I don't think she
Yeah.
really realizes it right now,
Yeah.
but that's what's happening. And she's starting to identify with things as she can do XYZ versus she
Yeah.
can't. And not even just the like can and can't, but it's just expanding like who you believe you are, can be, the choices, the actions, the thought patterns, things like that. And I really believe muscle and gaining strength is the
Yeah.
start of it in
Yep.
your workouts because it's going to translate outside of that
Everywhere.
and into your mind.
Yeah. 150 bajillion%. And yeah, man, I when I first started, it was all just about losing weight. But about 6 months or so in, I I don't know. It was like a switch went off, and I remember like there was a girl walking through the gym. I have no idea who. I wish I knew who she was. Now I would tell her that like to this day I'm still talking about her like a decade
Oh,
later.
I love that.
But like she walked through the gym and I could like see her arms, like her arms were like defined muscle, and I was just like, I want that. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I want, you know? And it
Yeah.
was like just the switch went off. And I was like, I mean, weight loss is cool, but you know what's cooler? Like that. Like looking like
Mhm.
I can kick somebody's ass, not necessarily, but just, looking strong and looking capable and just and that's literally when everything changed for me. Like that's when
Mhm.
the whole focus, just became
And you
strength
started
training.
identifying
Yes.
with that and with those
Yep.
things that you want. And this can even be with food. Like if you identify as someone who you restrict and binge all the time and that's just what
Hmm.
happens, like yeah, there's some things that we got to
Yeah.
work through, maybe therapy, things like that, but like thinking about how you can identify as someone else who doesn't do that. If you don't want to restrict
Yeah.
and binge anymore, the person you who does not do that in the
Hmm.
future or even you're acting as the present, how does she act? How does she
Yeah.
think? What choices does she make? And you need to start identifying with that person
Yep.
instead of the person you are now, but with the actions and thoughts and behaviors that doesn't serve you, that you don't want anymore. Right.
Yep.
So, and it all starts with awareness, of course, like knowing that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's just
Yeah.
the biggest unconventional one I think that
Yeah.
muscle can provide us.
I love that. 100. Yeah. I mean, I remember I was on somebody's podcast. I can't remember, just like telling her story. And I was like, that's when it kind of dawned on me too. Like when I was a teacher and I started training part-time, like nights and weekends. And COVID happened. And then 2021, I was like, when COVID happened, I got more time because I was teaching virtual. So I didn't have a commute anymore. And so I was able to be in the gym with more clients. Like my evenings were able to start earlier. And I was like, this is actually what I want to do. Like, this is what I love. And I tell people all the time, like, I don't think that I ever would have been brave enough to completely quit a teaching career that I had been doing for 18 years to start a business with no business knowledge whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever would have had the courage or the confidence to do any of that had I not learned through lifting all of the freaking things that I'm capable of doing that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
Yes.
So it's like, if I can pick up that weight, what the hell else can I do? Like I'm unstoppable.
Yeah.
There's so much else in the world that I can do outside of the gym, and I completely identify with what you're saying entirely.
Yeah. And that also, I mean, that even can be a separate one in itself, is like the capability aspect of the choices that you don't. So, like being a teacher, maybe you don't like being a teacher and you want to do something else, a side hustle or a hobby, and you're too afraid, or not that you're afraid, I'm not talking about that, but
Yeah.
like, I'm just saying for the person who has some fears for certain things, it's like through the gym, through workouts, gaining muscle, you then start to realize I can do those hard things. Like,
Yeah.
and maybe you were scared to go to the gym, or maybe you were scared to start lifting weights, but you started to learn how and you got through that. And then it's like, okay, yeah, like you said, like what else can I get? Can
Mm-hmm.
I do that I maybe can do scared? Because you
Yeah.
already did something that you did scared.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got
I
through it.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Love it. All right. Well, shit. I mean, how do we follow that? I'm going to follow that up with metabolic health. No, but I mean, but really though, metabolic health is one of them. And
Huge.
specifically like, like blood glucose, for example, like there was, how these things, they go in phases, and you have these like trends where like right now everybody's talking about, God, I honestly don't even know what, I guess like GLP-1s and stuff right now. But like, there's all these phases where like for a while, all you saw on social media, even like commercials on TV, was all about insulin resistance. And, that was like the thing everyone would talk about. But they always were trying to sell you a supplement or trying to sell you all of these things to, so you don't get, or to improve your insulin resistance. But the only thing I never saw them trying to sell was muscle. And that's like the
That's a good
biggest thing,
point.
is like muscle is your most metabolically active tissue. Muscle uses most of the blood glucose in your body is used by muscle. So the more muscle you have, the more of that's going to be controlled and stable, and you're less likely to end up with insulin resistance, diabetes, any of that stuff. And that's one that used to just frustrate me, because I would just yell at the TV. I'm like, just lift weights. Like,
That's so true.
yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they don't sell, no one sells muscle because it doesn't sell what they're
Doesn't make them
trying.
money.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's kind of
muscle
like
is
the last
we're-
episode, like the Weight Watchers and
yeah,
the new one, like this, they're all trying to sell all this shit because
yes.
Mhm.
And the big thing too with this is people then don't believe us when we say,
Yeah.
we just gotta lift weights and get muscle on your body.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. I think a lot of people feel like I've tried everything, like you hear that all the time. I've tried it. I've done every
Yes.
diet. I've done everything. And so they assume that the solution is some complicated something or another, expensive and
Yes.
complicated. I think they just don't believe that when we say something as simple as lift weights a few times a week for 30 to 45 minutes or whatever it might be, it will help that. Like, they don't trust that it's actually that simple, because they've tried so many other things that didn't work.
Yeah.
you know
Yes.
I actually had a stat here somewhere about, it was like, I think it was like 6 months, I want to say. So it was women, actually, here, let me scroll. I think it was specific to women, menopause, like perimenopause and menopause. Man, I don't know. Maybe it's just when I was reading, trying to find it. But it was something along the lines of, the study showed improvements in the blood glucose levels and insulin resistance it was 3 times a week. I want to say it was 3 times a week for 30 minutes of strength training. And in 6 months, like a huge portion of the people, so the people that were in the study they weren't diabetic yet. They were just insulin resistant, which is like the step below. Basically, that's when people say pre-diabetic, that's insulin resistant. And like the huge percentage, I wish I could find it to know what it was, but they were blood sugar levels, blood glucose levels were back in normal range after just 6 months, 3 times a week for 30 minutes a day.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
You know?
Jeez. That reminds me of another one, that study that I can't remember exactly 100%, but it was, and I don't know how many people or anything, but it basically showed that exercise and lifting weights specifically, not just exercise, because there's yoga, Pilates, like all movement is good, but specifically strength training was almost as equally as beneficial as therapy. Like therapy has its place. We've talked about that. But
Yes.
for specifically depression and anxiety, strength training was like just as
Yeah.
beneficial.
I've
Yeah.
actually got some stats on that if
Oh, nice.
I can jump in. So
Yes.
so depression, so I'll just read you exactly what it says here. This is a study from 2024. It says low muscle mass was independently associated with increased odds of depression and severe depression. Increased odds of depression and severe depression in both men and women, though the association was stronger in men than it was women. But yeah, low muscle mass, increased odds of depression and severe depression. Like crazy business. This is another one, also 2024, but it's a different study. That one was from Brain Sciences. This one is from the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health. That's a mouthful. This one's on anxiety, and it said low skeletal muscle mass was independently associated with a higher prevalence of mild, moderate, and severe anxiety symptoms in a study of over 174,000 adults.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So independent, like that one factor was independently associated with higher
Jesus.
prevalence. Yeah. And that's
way
a
I think about-
lot of people.
Yeah. And the way I think about anxiety too, because for me, it's like in my chest or in my stomach. And what I think about is it's energy that needs to move. And whenever
Yeah.
I work out and I have that, I feel so much better. Even if it's just a walk, but
Yeah.
usually like I have to get my heart rate up and just do the weightlifting, even if it's not a great workout, because that energy is getting moved. Otherwise, like it's just stuck and I keep feeling that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's specific, like something maybe it's work related or relationship related or just something with me. I don't know. Depends. But no matter what, when I move my body and lift weights and exercise, it is moving that energy and I feel better afterwards.
I never, I mean, it's like, I realized that, but I guess I never made the connection from when I'm not feeling great. I knew that when I don't feel great, exercise makes me feel better, but I never really correlated it to like this with like anxiety, depression, and all that. Like for some reason that never clicked in my brain before, but that's so true. So true. Like
Yeah.
I always tell my son, like sometimes it'll be hard to get him going, whether it's for a run or to go lift or whatever. And I was like, I don't know how you feel. Like none of us are always motivated to go work out. Like that's just not real life.
Yeah.
But I will say that the workouts that I got myself to go do, even when I didn't want to do it, were some of the best ones I've done. And maybe not
Yes.
best in terms of like, oh, that was a great workout. Like I kicked my own ass, but it was like, there was such a turnaround in how I felt at the end of it that
Yep.
made it the best. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
there's never been a workout that I've regretted. You know,
Yes.
I'll regret the ones I missed, but I've never regretted one that I did. So
Yep. That's 100%. I agree. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Well, on the same, I guess, sort of in the same vein, as far as like brain health and whatnot, I have some stats on how having muscle is brain protective. And a lot of that is because of how it improves our metabolic health and our blood glucose. So, but it talks about like dementia risk and all kinds of things are improved when you have muscles. So this one was talked about, especially in women. The study suggested maintaining muscle mass above certain thresholds, which I'd have to look up exactly what the threshold is, but it may help slow cognitive decline. So like as we get older, you know. And then this one talked about dementia risks specifically. Impaired muscle function, including decline over time, was related to a greater long-term late life dementia risk in older women. And that was in a 14.5-year study that they followed these women. So not having a decent bit of muscle on their body contributed to their risk of dementia as they got older. So
this could also, so I was listening to a podcast and he was also talking about this, like brain health and exercise, but not just exercise, because you know what else a reason for this is because you're learning a new skill. So when you're constantly learning new skills, maybe you pick up crochet. Doesn't even have to be exercise related, but like, since we're talking about muscle and exercise, you're constantly learning new skills within exercise, working out, lifting weights, and trying to put on muscle. So that is also going to contribute to less likelihood of dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that.
makes all those like brain connections and things when you're learning something. And I think with exercise too, specifically, this is just comes back from my like past teacher life, but we know about like the connections and how like left-sided, right-sided, all that when you do anything cross body. So like anytime your arms cross center, your legs cross center. And so that with certain types of exercises, depending on what you're doing, that even more so when we're crossing the center
Yes.
line of our body, it adds even more to that like brain
Never thought about that. Or when
growth.
you're doing like opposite, like I think about bird dogs or dead bugs. Like,
Yes. Yeah. Left, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I did not even think about that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Brains are cool.
Brains are cool.
Science is cool, but brains are rad. How's that?
Yes.
I'm like, I'm the
Love
dorkiest
that.
person you'll ever meet. Like the day I was like, I love algebra. Like I do math all day
Oh, man,
long.
that's funny.
Oh my God. Okay, let's see. So this particular study, let's see what this one was from 2023. They talked about people with low muscle mass and function. And when they say function, they mean like, because there's like a difference between having muscle and having strength. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure how, I don't know how to explain
I try
this
and
to
use
someone.
the two interchangeably, but there is a difference of having just, because when you think about, okay, let's, for example, like bodybuilders, they're putting on a show for their body and they need to show specific muscles, but their strength, it might not reflect how strong they are. I mean, it could. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Like you're,
And I guess like, I think that's a good example. Like the bodybuilders like versus powerlifting. So like if you look at me, I'm not jacked like a bodybuilder is jacked.
But you're super
However,
strong.
I might be able to lift more than they
yes.
lift because it's like muscle density as opposed to like muscle size.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
So when they say muscle mass, that's like how much muscle is on your body. And then function is like how strong is that muscle.
Yep.
Did I
that
say
makes
that
sense
right?
to me.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, to me it does.
Okay. So anyway, so they were talking about people who had low muscle mass and function had a 2.4 times greater risk of dementia. Those with both so with sarcopenia, so low muscle mass and function, and they had any memory complaints like prior to having dementia, their risk went up to 2.5 times greater risk than someone who has more muscle on their body. I mean, honestly, that alone, like there's dementia and Alzheimer's in my family. And that is like one of those things for me, like when I look at long-term health and like I want to be like that crazy ass 85-year-old lady in the neighborhood that like the neighborhood kids love to fucking see her coming. You know what I mean? Like she's like causing trouble and she's, saying perverted shit to people. Like I want that to be me. Like I want that to be the one where they're like, man, I want to be like Kristin when I'm 85.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so when I imagine myself like that, and then I remember like all these things like dementia and whatnot in that run in my family, it's like that's definitely one of those things that when I don't want to work out or when I consider like, I don't have to do this so much. It's like, no, you do actually, because you're not getting any younger. And like, the benefits of all of this. And if that's something so simple that I can do that not only has these long-term benefits, but makes me feel good right now in the moment, then, it's super worth it because like, that's scary. Anybody who's ever dealt with like any family members or, anybody with dementia, like, I'm sure they can understand and relate. And if we can help improve our risk factors with that, to me, that one alone is worth it.
Yeah. I think that the key there though is like you have to want like so far in the future for a lot of people they don't feel or see the pain of it unless they have a direct like person who went through it in their life and they saw that.
Yep.
But otherwise it's like trying to find the things that are important to you. So as you age, like what are the things that is going to click where no matter how you're feeling, you're still going to get the workout done. Like, is it dementia, Alzheimer's? Is it losing your independence, not being able to go hiking, so it's like we're listing all of these things, but you have to find the thing that is going to click with you.
Yeah.
That is gonna,
because it's gonna be different for all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's see. What else you got? I think that one was.
Yeah. Well, going along with the metabolism thing is eating more. Muscle allows you to eat way fucking more. Like, how cool is it that you can still have the ability to have a faster metabolism, get the body that you want, whether it's like to have muscle definition, to lose body fat, but also you get to eat more.
Hello.
Come on, of like the healthy foods, yes, but also I think we talked about this in the another episode of like the strong foods versus fun foods. Did we talk about this? Yeah.
Yeah, we
Did we
talked
talk
about like
Yeah.
I don't remember the strong foods part. I mean, maybe it was a thing.
Maybe
I just
it
don't
was
remember.
strong-
But we have talked before about like
Like, not
just
labeling
basically
it as
foods that
good
are
or
more
bad.
nutrient dense
Yes.
as opposed to just foods that we just enjoy or foods like
Yeah.
that make us feel good, comfort foods.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but like when I'm talking about eating more, obviously, yes, the foods that are wholesome and have nutrients and serve our bodies that way with building muscle, but also the fun foods that like maybe you normally would consider quote bad or unhealthy, but they're the fun foods that you enjoy. Like I love cookies and brownies and ice cream and I want to be able to eat those. And I can eat way more now because I have more muscle on my body. And it's just such a better way to live because you get to eat more because your body has a faster metabolism to metabolize that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. Because again, like we talk about the blood glucose, muscle is the most metabolically active tissue you have. So you're burning more calories just at rest when you have more muscle on your body.
Yes. I was just going to ask you if someone's listening and they're like, well, what the hell does metabolically active mean?
That's it. It's
But
using up more
burning
calories.
Yes. Even at
Calories and the
rest.
blood glucose and at rest. Yeah, not just during your
Yes.
workout. And I think like that's the thing too, like when people always they want to do cardio because they can see on their watch how many calories they burned and it makes them feel some kind of productive way as opposed to lifting. You may not see that number, but the difference is lifting is the long-term calorie burn even when you're not doing the exercise as
Watching a
opposed
show,
to
binging a Netflix
Yep.
show.
As opposed
Yeah.
to cardio is only in that moment. It's something else that made me think of when you were talking about all that is I hear a lot of women like my age, like 40s, 50s, and they say, you know, oh, like when I was in my 20s, I was able to, you know, eat anything. It didn't matter. And I don't know what happened. But here's what happened is when you were in your 20s, you had more muscle on your body. Even if you didn't lift, you did. You were just a younger human. You just did.
And our bodies work, I think, differently when we're younger versus
Yeah.
when we're older.
And the hormone change, the hormones are different, everything. And so you just naturally had more muscle on your body at that time. So you had that leeway a little bit, like what you're talking about, where you might be able to eat some things that now, if you ate it, it would feel like, you know, it would impact you completely differently. You were able to do that. You had that leeway because you have more muscle on your body. But then what happens with many women, not all, of course, but with many women, is then maybe they do gain a little bit of weight because, you know, maybe you graduate from college, you start your career, and maybe you sit at a desk now instead of walking all over a college campus or whatever. And so now you decide you want to go on a diet. And most of the diet industry is going to have you do something that's pretty extreme so that you're going to see some results. And we all know when you do those extreme diets, you don't just lose fat, you also lose muscle. And so now a little bit more of that muscle is gone. And you maybe do lose the weight or whatever you want to do. You stop doing that diet. You go back to living normal life. Well,
and your metabolism has adapted to such low calories.
Yep. Yeah. You go back to eating normal. Now you gain the weight and then some because you have less muscle. So now your metabolism has dropped. And then the cycle just perpetuates itself. And so now you find yourself at 50 years old and you've done all of these diets. You haven't been lifting weights. You've not been prioritizing your protein. And you feel like you're broken because you don't understand what's wrong. I used to be able to eat all of this food and now I can't. Well, it's because you have less muscle on your body. And hormones and all of these other things that create this situation, this environment where you don't have as much muscle on your body if you're not purposefully trying to build muscle. And that's really it. And these companies will tell you all kinds of reasons why, and they're going to make you feel like crap for it. But that's all it comes down to. That's all it is. And it's an easy fix. Just start lifting. Just get some muscle.
Start lifting weights. Yes.
Start lifting.
Yep.
And I think too, I think we've maybe talked about this before, but when we say start lifting weights, if you're brand new and you've never really lifted anything at all before, sometimes it's just lifting your body. Like
always.
Body weight exercise. So like don't misconstrue what we're saying here. When we say get strong, build muscle, lift, like sometimes it's not necessarily going to have to be a dumbbell or a barbell, especially if you're just starting out. You can start progressing yourself in push-ups on a wall, and then do push-ups on your counter, and then do push-ups on a chair, and then you could do push-ups on the floor. Push-ups are an incredible exercise that require no equipment, no gym, no anything,
This is where I specialize. Like like just this year, I'm like finding like who I love to work with, which I've always known, but it's just funny how like when you're I don't know, just with different like mentorships and stuff, you try and fit the mold of what they think who you should help. Anyways, I've always loved, and I am so convicted. I have this gift for helping people when they are brand fucking new to working out, to lifting weights, and every single time we're just using body weight. I had someone today, she's brand new. She's never had a personal trainer. She's never lifted, never worked out, never exercised in any capacity whatsoever. Didn't even know how to do a squat, plank, nothing. Everything was so foreign to her. And we started with a sit to a stand, and it was as simple as that. And at first she was like, oh, wait, what? Like, is this it? Like, really just sit to a stand? Because you do that every day anyways.
Sure.
But that's how, like, when I start people out with lifting weights, we don't even start with lifting weights. Of course, if we're doing a bicep curl, I'm going to give you a dumbbell. But with a lot of these movement patterns, we're teaching your body's movement patterns, and we're just using your body weight, because that is a way to build muscle and strength is through using your body weight. Like you said, push-ups, squats, sit to a stand, holding yourself in a plank position. Like we are just doing most of the time only your body weight, and that's where you can start.
Yep. That's a great place to start. And you can build a significant amount of muscle just with your body weight.
Oh yeah.
As long as you adapt it and progress it. But so just for clarity's sake, when we say lift weights and get strong, that does not mean.
So glad you said that.
Yeah.
And brought that up, because people are going to think, oh yeah, lift weights, like having the weights, and but
that's great. Like, if you're ready for that, then go do that. But if you're sitting here listening to this going, I'm afraid to go to a gym, or I don't know how, I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt, all these things, body weight, just start with your body weight stuff. You can do so much. And then as you get strong with the body weight stuff, that's where, like we talked about in the first thing we said, that's where the confidence comes in of, oh, wait, I can do this because look how strong I got with this. Well, now maybe I can hold a dumbbell at my chest when I do my sit to stand.
Exactly.
Or whatever it might be. And so, again, it's just creating, I think it's super important. And one of the things that I talk about with my clients a lot, especially online, is creating that environment for yourself where you're going to experience success so that you are motivated to keep moving on to the next thing.
Exactly.
Just yesterday I was talking with one of my girls in the gym. She was here at the house in the gym, and we're working on her water intake. And it was originally 80 ounces was her goal. And we actually need to get her a little bit higher than that, even because she's on some medications and things. But we were like, okay, well, let's start at 80, because she was guessing at about how much she drinks. I'm like, okay, well, then let's start at 80, because it was just a little bit over where she was. But then we realized when she started truly tracking, it's really not. So I'm like, okay, I want to bring it back down to like 60. And her water bottle is 22 ounces. And I go, okay, how about like we can compromise, because she wanted to keep it at 80. I said, how about we say 66? Because that would be 3 of those full bottles, I said, because what's more important to me is that at least a few days a week, if not more, you're able to come into our app and mark off that you got all 66 ounces. And you're able to see in that calendar, like, did it,
Feels
as
good,
opposed to a whole week of never hitting 80. I said, it's just, even if maybe you are hitting 66 at that time, and we would celebrate that, it doesn't look as good. Like, you don't feel that, like, satisfaction, I guess, of being like, I hit my goal, so like setting yourself up for success is going to serve you so much further than trying to set these big, crazy, high achieving goals that may take either a really long time or just seem so like daunting that you lose motivation to do it. So
exactly.
So again,
we're gonna keep repeating that over and over again.
Yep.
Pause. I'm going to cut us off at 1 hour and 15 minutes. We're at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
We're at 104. Okay. A couple things maybe we want to talk about here. Well, let's talk bone density, because we haven't talked about that yet. And we know bone density is a huge. Oops, sorry. I said I was looking for what we can talk about, and I said, hey, let's talk about bone density, because that's a big one that we haven't covered yet, and make sure we cover that before we're done. So the thing is, and this is something that I see a lot too, is people say, well, I walk a lot and I do yoga and whatnot. And that's great. Like, that's, any movement is awesome movement. But when it comes to building bone density, that's not going to cut it. And same with like the weighted vests. I see people on Facebook groups saying they're walking with a weighted vest for bone density. I'm like, that's not how that works, guys. It's bone is strong, right? So like we need like heavy loads and like mechanical
Yes.
loading, heavy loads to be able to create change in that bone. And we know for women, especially as we get older, we've talked about this many times, so I'm not going to harp on it, but as our hormones change, we are at much higher risk for osteoporosis. That's why nursing homes have a higher percentage of women than men, because we're much more likely to have broken hips or hip fractures, which very, very quickly like brings down and or eliminates our quality of life and independence, because coming back from a hip fracture or something at an older age when bones aren't strong is not a good time. So
Yeah.
building it up
That's the other
now.
thing that I was gonna bring. Yes, that's the other thing I was gonna bring up was like muscle will help reduce aches and pains, but also
Yeah.
injuries from bones breaking, hip like fractures. It's gonna reduce all of that. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't tell you the amount of people that I've had who we've started lifting weights, and literally within even the first week. Sometimes it's longer, so I can't say for everyone, but a lot of times within the first week or even the one workout alone, uh strength training and beginning to add muscle will help to alleviate discomfort and pain
Yeah.
and like almost get rid of it entirely. If you don't use
Mhm.
it, you lose it. And so like if you're not utilizing, if you're not doing certain things, you're going to lose the ability of doing certain of whether it's daily tasks or even
Mhm.
like mobility wise, but muscle is going to help you to prevent or get rid of those aches and pains. And
Yeah.
listen, like sometimes it's
Absolutely.
deeper than that and like medically we got to figure things out,
Yeah,
but a
sure.
lot of times it's just weakness. And so that goes back to the strength wise of it, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. So my online program, like one of the big angles that we talk about a ton is that like lifting for life. Like people my age are looking
Yes.
at their parents and they're looking at their aunts and their uncles and they're seeing that decline. They're getting to that age where they're starting to feel like stuck on the couch and they're, all of that. And it's scary because you look at it and you're like,
Yeah.
is that my future? Like I've taken after
Mhm.
my mom and all these ways. Am I going to take after her in that way too? And you don't have to. Like, no, you don't. Don't feel destined to that. There's things you can do. And when I would ask online sometimes about like, why do you lift? Like, it's one of the answers that, because I actually copy and paste them into a Google file that I have that I use like for
Oh,
my marketing and
nice.
stuff when people say this
Yeah.
stuff. So I see it a lot. But the one that's on there that makes me laugh every time is, I want less years of somebody else having to wipe my old ass for me. And
Literally
like,
though.
that's
Yes.
it. That's it.
Yeah, that's very
It's
specific. That's funny.
it's so specific, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. And like,
Yep.
like
Yep.
people like the sit stands, like you just said. Like, you know
Yeah.
what? When you're 80 years old and you don't want someone to have to help you get off the toilet, guess what you should work on? Sit stand. Because guess what getting off the
Yeah.
toilet is?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's just
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
Independence, like muscle will give you that independence.
Yes.
It gives you capability, like
Absolutely.
all of these health, like metabolism and bone density, all, of course, and joint support, but also, independence,
Yeah.
capability, a higher quality of life.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep doing all that
Less
shit thing
anxiety.
as an old person. Anxiety, depression. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We could go on forever. The last one that I have that I'll
Yeah, we
just mention
could.
real quick is heart health. And it talks about
Yes.
how having higher muscle mass is associated with lower cardiovascular disease in women. Heart disease is one of the number one killers for women. And having this one actually says women with high muscle mass had a 42% lower risk of heart disease death, regardless of body fat levels. So,
Damn.
yep,
That's a high percentage.
yep,
Holy shit.
42%. That's
Yeah.
crazy. And
I'm glad you
regardless of
brought that
body
up.
fat levels is like huge to me. That was a study out of UCLA in 2021 that said that.
That's good. I'm so glad
Um,
you brought that up because regardless of body fat, we're always
mhm.
so focused on losing body fat, lose body
Yes.
fat, lose body fat, lose weight,
Yep.
lose weight, lose weight. No, add muscle because no matter what your body fat is, you will still have these benefits.
Yes. And it's, when you think about like when people say body fat percentages, like, okay, say you're 30% body fat percent. But let's say you lose no fat at all, but you put on muscle. Well, that percentage has just shifted because now that you have more lean mass, that body fat percentage is a lower now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Of
Yes.
your total. So like
Yes.
putting on muscle changes that ratio of with your body
Yes.
fat percent and your body composition, and you reap all these benefits from it.
Yep. 100%. Yes.
What else? Did you have anything last minute?
Well, no, that's it for that. But I did remember a question I was going to ask you in the very
Mm.
beginning, and I have a note to ask you. So, it has nothing to do with the topic. Oh, well, a little bit. I mean, protein. It's a protein question, and so
Okay.
that I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, and another quote. I'm gonna say this quote. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so if we think about diet programs and 21-day cleanses and all of these things that people sell, weight loss supplements, fat loss supplements, your failure is part of their plan. It's in their business plan. So just I think I don't remember if I read that or I don't remember where I came across that, but I like wrote it down. I was like, ooh, I gotta say this on the next episode. Is that your failure is part of their plan.
Literally, once we stop recording, I'm gonna listen to it. I just recorded a reel in my car that talked about how your failure is literally a part of the program, because if you succeed, you
No way,
stop giving
you
them
did?
money. Yeah, I'm gonna
Holy
play it for you.
shit.
Just or Wednesday.
Oh my God,
I recorded
funny.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
it's
funny
true.
because it might
It's
have been
true.
Wednesday that I came around that time that I came
Get
across
out of my
this.
head,
That's hilarious.
Sophia.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Okay, what was your protein
okay,
thing?
question. So
Oh,
in the
boy.
beginning of the
Anytime
year,
you get that face, I get scared. What's about to happen?
Okay, what's happening is I'm trying to figure out in my brain how I'm going to ask this, and because there's other things I want to say, so I'm trying to figure out the order in which I'm going to say it and how I'm going to ask it and all those things.
You just had like a sneaky smile, and it made me concerned.
I know. So in the beginning of the year, one of like my predictions was that fiber was going to be the new like protein of of getting your fiber, which it absolutely, I mean, like we've talked about it. But now what I'm seeing a lot of, and I want your opinion on this, because what I'm seeing a lot of is now people being like bashing on protein, almost like saying, oh, protein is like being talked about. You don't need that much. Like even like anti-diet culture people and coaches, it's like they're like, okay, let's like take a pause on that. We also need fiber. We also need whole foods. Like you don't need that much protein. Like it's all protein, but they're almost like bash. So I'm curious to know your thoughts, if you would agree with those people or just what your thoughts are in general on this topic.
Yeah, I've seen some of that too. And I guess my thing on it is I don't understand. How do I say it? Like, I don't think that one has to be to the exclusion of the other. Do you know what I mean? Like when I talk about a healthy diet, and most anything, I'm like protein and fiber. Why is it that if we want to start encouraging people to get fiber, we have to be like, don't worry about so much protein? Like, we can do both.
Well,
you know,
that is true. I just think it's because it like on social media, that's all people have been talking about is like cottage cheese, yogurt, like how to use these things, high protein snacks. Everything is like protein and like how to increase your protein, how to do this and that. Like that's all that people are talking about, and it's a lot. And so, yeah, like that. Like, do you agree that it's too much, that we have gone too far?
I think, I mean, I guess when we say we, what are we talking about? Like,
I just always use we now.
Like the we as in like the greater, I think some people always had been going too far with it. Like some of the protein numbers that I would see some people give were absolutely outrageous and ridiculous. But I don't think that a gram per pound of ideal body weight is too far. And that's what I generally recommend. Do you know what I mean? But I think we've kind of talked about this a lot too, where it's like, I think where maybe some things got out of hand was all of the crazy ass recipes that people were inventing with all of this stuff. And we've talked before about how like, you know, protein crackers or something. It's like, man, just eat a Ritz, you know, like, do we really have to go there? No, I don't think we have to go there. But I don't think, on the flip side, I don't think that we should be like kind of bashing it and making people like, oh, I don't need so much protein, and now they're gonna cut back on their protein. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's
you froze maybe in the recording. Yeah, you froze. So re-say what you just said, because it maybe is fine in the recording, but I have no idea what you just said. So
Yeah.
Just like 5 seconds worth.
I don't try to remember now.
Fuck.
Well, I was talking about how like for all the protein products and all that stuff, where like
Okay.
I feel
Yes.
like that went too far. Like when I
Okay.
saw protein Pop-Tarts not too long ago, I'm like, come on, guys, what are we doing? Like it just being, I think that kind of thing has gone too far, but I don't think enforcing the benefits and the importance of eating a high protein diet, I don't think that that can be understated, especially for women who typically most of their lives ate very, very little protein. And as we get older, we need more protein because we're not synthesizing as much as we were when we were younger because of our hormones. And so for me, like, I feel like that kind of thing had never really went too far. I think that people just got on that bandwagon and it went bonkers with all the recipes and products and all that stuff.
Yeah. Here are my thoughts on it, because I remember seeing it and be like, yeah, people are kind of like, we've kind of gone far with it. But I took some time to think about it, and I disagree with coaches and people saying that to cool it, because this is such a positive in my opinion, because we are under eating protein, food in general. It's helped people to eat more protein, to be aware of it and to be conscious of it. Hell yeah. Protein is like up here. It's like boom, boom, boom. We've like raised the bar with protein. We've even the protein Pop-Tarts, whatever, but like we've raised the bar. Now, okay, let's just start bringing up fiber and whole foods to like match that. Like we don't have to say stop eating, like you don't need that much protein, blah blah blah. No, we do need protein for muscle and for so many different things. It's like I just think we need to like bring the bar up higher for these other things.
Agreed. Like have your protein, have broccoli with it. You know, have some fruits and vegetables with it and have some beans, you know, get your fiber in. Don't cut out the protein progress that you've been making. You know, that's exactly where I am
Maybe
with it.
I need to do a post about this, because this gets me heated, because I'm like, we've made we've gone all crazy with it, but
and like progress. Yeah, and literally to a cellular level, we need that protein, like for cellular repair and hair and skin and nails and like all of these things. Aside from it keeps you feeling fuller and, you know, helps us build muscle, you know, all of these benefits that we need, and some people are finally now experiencing because there was such a big push on protein. But that's where I agree. Like it shouldn't be one to the detriment of the other. We need both. And so
and you know what? A lot of people are like, you know what? I want to, like, I need more variety with my meals and to spice it up and whatever. And there's the simple things that we've talked about, but people have gotten super creative. And I think that's an awesome thing, because now I've tried recipes where it's more like protein based, and we're trying different things with yogurt, cottage cheese, and all of that. And it's things that I'm like, holy shit, that's like really, really good. Some things maybe not as good, but it is a way to get creative. And, and then along with that, I know, because I was going to ask you on here and then I ended up making a post about it, but dill sauerkraut, y'all, just put dill sauerkraut on everything. So good. I'm on a kick. Like it's just, I don't know if it's the texture and the taste with everything else. And also there's very little minimal things that I dislike, and I usually like to mix my food anyways. I don't like it. I don't mind it. I don't mind unseasoned chicken. So like dill sauerkraut with scrambled eggs or with chicken, sweet potato, and green beans, like I had, like, I don't know, it's just so good.
I mean, just the word sauerkraut and I'm out. Like,
oh, okay.
Just so you don't that like alone, I'm like, I'm out. But dill, and I hear dill, I think pickle. So it's like this dill seasoning, I assume.
Yes.
Right?
So like regular sauerkraut, I don't think I would like I would not put that in some of these meals that I've been eating. But the dill, it's not like a pickle, like a super pickly flavor, but it's like a subtle dill flavor in with the sauerkraut. So it changes it a little bit than like regular sauerkraut.
We're going to have to put a poll up on Instagram for the U-Bobbers to talk about this sauerkraut situation that you've got going on.
You're welcome.
But, you know, at least it's a flavor. So we're going to give you props for that. And I meant to come back to it because you tagged me in it and I was on and I saw it, but then I had to get on a Zoom. And then I forgot to come back to it. And my notifications are just bonkers and I never see any notifications usually after that. So I meant to go back to it. I totally forgot because that was funny. And I can't remember what Kiana said something that was really freaking funny, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, something about how I have a dumpster for a pallet and like whatever. But like coming from the person, she likes cheese and banana sandwiches.
What?
Yeah.
Cheese and banana?
Yes.
Take that.
Like a cheese single.
So she just slices up banana and puts it on bread.
Yeah.
And then like
And the cheese.
like cheddar cheese, like what kind of
Velveeta.
it doesn't matter, I guess. I don't know if it
Velveeta
matters.
slices.
And then does it get heated or anything? Like do we melt this Velveeta? Like and
No, and someone else I know, actually, a friend of mine, she does toast, peanut butter, and pickles. Pickles.
Wow.
Toast, peanut butter, and pickles. What?
Wow. Okay, I'm
Y'all
gonna make a
toast
post.
sauerkraut.
I'm gonna make a post asking people for their weird ass food combinations.
Yes,
so
you should.
This right here
would
is
be
gonna be
good.
a social media clip. Hi, social media. Tell us your weird ass food combinations. I gotta know. I
That
gotta
you
know
love.
who's got the weirdest favorite food combination.
That other people would be like, weird.
What the fuck?
Ew.
Yeah.
Gross. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I look forward
With
to that. On that note, all right, you bobbers, don't forget to follow us on all the socials at YouBobPod. Pob? What the fuck's a pob? YouBobPod.
YouBobPod.
Duh. God. I was really, I was good. I was on a roll, too, and then I said it wrong.
You were.
Follow us on all the socials at YouBobPod and email us at youbobpod@gmail.com. I'm out of practice. It's been a while since we've recorded an episode. Let us know your thoughts. If you will go ahead and give us a 5-star rating wherever you're listening, hit the follow button. That's always really helpful too.
And let us know what you like about it, what you learned.
Yeah, let's chat. So,
Okay.
all right. Until next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.